I want to start today's review with a question. Where do you think we are? Anyone who's been subscribed to our channel for a while or has been to Spain will probably think we're somewhere around Girona or in the foothills of the Pyrenees, because that's the only place you find these kinds of estates or macias. I'll tell you where we are in a bit, but for now, my name is Marina. You're on the Damlex Realty channel. Hit the bell, comment, write your guesses while I keep you in suspense. And now let's go. Today I'm going to show you a property that gives the impression of being so far from civilization and infrastructure that you'll be surprised to learn we're just a 5-minute walk from the Platja shopping center and about 15 minutes on foot to the beach of Platja itself. You have to admit, it's very rare to find half a hectare of land practically in the center of town. If I had to choose a property for someone who wants peace, privacy and space, but isn't ready to sacrifice city infrastructure, I would recommend this one first and foremost. Actually, the whole atmosphere of this house just invites you to relax, do nothing, or do some kind of retreat. See, I've already taken my shoes off. I couldn't resist because the lawn is so gorgeous, such a great area. And most importantly, look at this huge piece of flat land and a flat road to the shops, restaurants, and medical clinic. Wine Palace is also in a straight line. If anyone has a bit too much, they won't fall into a ditch. There are lots of bike paths around here. In short, it's such a joy. It really feels like we're deep in the countryside, somewhere near Girona, around Lake Banyoles, for example. And it's hard to believe you're practically in the center of town. And that is very cool. Well, now I suggest we take a walk through the house. Although I'd love to linger on this lawn. It's so nice because it's hot here, but the grass is still damp from dew or automatic watering. I don't know. I don't even want to put my shoes back on, but let's go. It's time. In today's world, privacy is becoming a luxury. We're getting more and more inquiries from clients with very high budgets. And their primary requirement now is no longer a sea view or walking distance, but convenience and privacy. By convenience, they mean flat plots, and privacy means large grounds. That is, modern people, and I think this trend will continue for many, many years to come, are ready to sacrifice a sea view. Because actually, if the sea is a 15-minute walk away, I can go and enjoy it every day. I can get in the car and drive to any beach on the Costa Brava. But privacy, quiet, a flat plot where it's nice to relax and walk. I mean, imagine it's practically your own park. This has truly become a luxury given how densely built up everything is along the coast, and we live in houses, sometimes very expensive ones. But stepping out onto our terrace with a cup of coffee in the morning, we can't help but see the neighbors. Even if they're just as successful as we are, they are invisibly present right next to you. And of course, you don't get that same feeling of privacy, of peace, that all of this is mine. All for me. In this house, you can feel like, well, if not king of the castle, then a mini feudal lord. You can build a new house, but you won't find a half-hectare plot 15 minutes walk from the beach anymore. Houses like this are extremely rare. It's a unique property. Well, now I invite you inside, and along the way, I'll reveal another secret. The house, as you can see, is an old masía. It's a house with history, not a new build. Well, are you ready? I invite you inside. Unlike many modern houses, this house is steeped in history. And for those who want authentic Spain, 15 minutes walk from the beach, this house will be a wonderful option. One feature of this house, which is very important in my opinion, is that it's single-story, but divided into several buildings. So we are currently in the main house. The living room. Look how nicely they designed this. I don't know what it's called, but in the past, in old castles, they had these alcoves for watchmen, mostly in towers. I don't know what function this whole thing served in the past, but now look how interestingly they've styled it. They put in these soft benches, a desk. Oh, there's a dog. The land adjacent to the house is also our land. Well, the property's land. From the living room with a fireplace. Now, a fireplace, I always say, for me, a fireplace in a modern house is a bit of an atavism. It doesn't serve a purpose, and I'll tell you more. I don't know a single owner of an ultra high-tech modern house who actually uses their fireplace. They're just for decor. But in houses like this, well, it's practically a crime not to light a fire, but at the same time, there is heating here. And from the living room, we access 2 bedrooms. This bedroom looks out onto the main entrance. We can see the driveway to the house from here. Here we have wooden frames, wooden shutters, no aluminum. Everything is eco-friendly. Close them up and you've got maximum peace and quiet. And you won't need valerian or whatever else people take to sleep well. By the way, look, let's do this. I've closed this shutter. We only have 1 window left and the light in the room is turned off. We're filming in the morning. The sun isn't very high yet. You can see that this house, even though it might seem old and dark, is actually quite bright. Yes, I agree that the living room lacks light. But then again, having this kind of soft, muted light, I really like it because the living room is for relaxing. We don't need bright light there. Another bedroom. Here, as we can see, it's set up for 2 people separately. Yes, so it could be a kid's room for parents, for kids. A bathroom with a shower. And once again, I'd like to point out that we haven't encountered a single staircase here. From the moment we drove up to the house and walked inside, moving around the floor, there isn't a single staircase, not even a step. For those who want to avoid all the hassle of running up and down stairs, this house will be perfect. Oh, we passed the hallway. I took you straight into the living room. Well, for such an old house, the hallway here is a very good size. If anyone is bothered by this grate, it serves more of a decorative function, of course. It can be removed, and then our hallway will look even larger. But they always used to make grates like this because my home is my castle. Yes, if enemies got through this door, they had another obstacle to break through to get into the main living quarters. And in the meantime, the owners of this estate back then would have had time to escape through the back gardens. Look at this cool chair. Well, it clearly shows, yes, the apostles. Where is it from? They really used to make furniture back then. Solid as a rock. I need one of these to keep my posture straight. We have space here for coats too. Everything can be organized. Let's go into the kitchen through the dining room. We have a separate living room with a fireplace and the kitchen, and see how cleverly it's done. The light is soft everywhere there because, as I said, we don't work in the living room. We relax, chat with family and friends. And where we need more light, which is the dining room and kitchen, the lighting is absolutely fine. The kitchen, of course, is styled completely in keeping with the house. If someone wants to create an eclectic look and put in a fresh, modern kitchen, that actually fits very well in this kind of house too. But everything here is solid. This marble countertop will last another 1,000 years. You can leave it as is for now and use it. Because, well, I'll talk about that a bit later. Let's move on. Let's keep going. That's not all. At the entrance to the house and level with the kitchen, we find a terrace. If I were to change anything, I might put a floor-to-ceiling window here. Although look, this is the hallway, and right now the curtains are drawn. But there is access to this terrace from the hallway, so there's actually no need to change anything. It's already there. Oh, it's so beautiful here. The lawn, it's like an English lawn. And what's nice about this Masia, this estate, is that it's zoned. That part beyond the fence, oh, I'm taking my shoes off again. I really want to walk barefoot here. That part beyond the fence is a vegetable garden, which is also part of the property. If someone wants even more space, we can remove this fence and extend the lawn there. But I think the lawn is fine as it is. No need for more. Here's the exit. We don't have the keys. The exit to this area. There are lots of little hidden corners here. Look, this is a terrace. You can sunbathe. You could extend the canopy. I would probably put up a canopy. Cozy little nooks, right? Here we have the gas storage for the kitchen. They cook with bottled gas here. This is the storage for firewood. And let's look at the other part of the house. If you have a large family or lots of guests visiting, it's very convenient. The main house is that one, and this one is either a guest house or for adult children. A bedroom overlooking the pool, facing the pool and the garden. A separate toilet, a very rare thing in Spain, and a separate shower. Everything is separate, a shower with a bidet. Another room. A small kitchen. It's smaller than the one in the main house. And the most interesting part, which I really love, is the summer or winter terrace. Everything is thought out here. You can close it up if it gets cold in winter, but you still want to be out here. And the barbecue. Now, the main selling point of this house, it has a tourist license. And remember, they aren't issuing any more licenses on the Costa Brava. So look how great this is. You can rent out one part separately and the other separately, either for large families, or you can live in the main house and just rent out that part. So this house gives you options for renting it out. Now, a little feature that's hard to overlook in this house. If you want to have a unique feature that will delight your guests, I'm sure they will truly appreciate this. This estate has its own chapel. Of course, it's not used as a chapel now, though you could convert it back. It's used as a garden shed. For for a garden shed, it's a very decent size and in good condition. And it's so cool in here. Back then, people really understood. No air conditioning, so you have to escape the heat with thick walls. Not like the hollow brick they use to build nowadays. You buy a modern villa, and then you have the AC blasting from morning till night in the summer to cool the house down because it heats up, and in the winter, of course, to heat it. But houses like this are cool in summer and very warm in winter. You only need to heat a house like this once, and it will hold a comfortable temperature for 24 hours. So if you want to save on heating and overall house maintenance, I always recommend looking at existing houses rather than new builds. And of course, the main rule is location. With this house, the location is perfect. Of course, this house won't suit those who crave a panoramic sea view. But it's ideal for those who want to live in an ancient masía with a huge plot, yet within walking distance of the best shops in Platja d'Aro. A well. Look at this well. Is there water? Oh, yes, there is water glistening down there. And finally, I'll show you the garage, also on one level. Let's go. I like to show everything through experience. Look, we're going out the gates. It's actually very hard to believe we're right next to a shopping center, because you step out and it feels like you're on a country road surrounded by fields. These fields are not for development, so you can rest easy. It won't be a case of, oh, we'll buy this now and then they'll build high rises in front of us. No, these are houses. This is all rustic land. And here is proof that we are near the shopping center. Well, you won't be able to see from here. I can see the Aldi sign already. There's the intersection, the road that leads to the shopping center. We'll get some drone footage. I think you'll understand and see just how close all the infrastructure is. And that's great. And Masno is behind our cameraman, the village of Masno, up on the hill. Up there, you'll get the sea view that leads to the shopping center. We'll get some drone footage. I think you'll understand and see enough how close all the infrastructure is. And that music, he writes some meal in that in breath of Kumwi. And Masno is behind Carnemerthend. Is it a land that Lille is not up on of hill? Unizil, actually doing the states, мы сплоченер is it else вредал касидет would get the last permit we what at a jidam of steris is in the dishes the despair con coolder. This made Cree and Roda Daglom restors are against Pesters Trige. We need ni win with if have need to clear. The land is 5,000 quintal meters and the price is 1,400,000. You don't raw a god of muy fancier with tebo it's atimno sonkes midekalav cleafero. There we see the end of ignored fallen Darmaya. I mean it's status closest in infrastructure only for the town of Santa Cristina de Aro rather than Platja d'Aro. A similar Mazia was sold. And today in this region's market, in this price range and with such a convenient location, this is the last estate left. And I think its turn will come this season and it will be sold because the time has come and the price is very good. 1,400,000. Before this, the owner was asking a bit more, but they dropped the price slightly. So it's priced to sell now. It's competitive. And if you want to compare and say, Marina, we like everything, but we want to compare it to something else, I won't be able to offer you anything with the same specs and the same distance to shops, restaurants, and the beach. And that's the unique thing about our market. Choosing and finding something that fits you is always very hard because there's nothing to choose from. The market is so hot and active that everything gets snapped up instantly. and those who hesitate are left without their dream home. If you have any questions left, write to us. I'll be happy to answer them. But if you'd like us to organize a visit, just a reminder, we can do it in any format, offline or online. So write to us, don't be shy. This was Marina. You're on the Damlex Realty channel, and bye-bye.